What's going on, everybody? I'm Zach.
And I am Andrew.
We're going to talk about some details and speculations on Avengers 3 and 4 that what we think could happen, especially with Avengers 4, because, there's a lot of stuff we don't know about that yet. But
Mm-hmm.
we have some ideas of what might happen and everything, and then also talk about Avengers 3 and a lot of the new set photos and information and everything we've got from that, which would be very cool.
So basically, one of the main things about Avengers 3 is that the main character is pretty much Thanos, which will be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've already kind of built him up, but they'll kind of show how bad he is, basically.
Yeah, and it's like,
which would be cool.
Like trying to think is like, it's kind of like the directors have said Thanos will be, it's like the first time you ever like think about it, where a villain is like the main attraction in a way of a movie. It's not.
The last time this happened was The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And that did pretty well.
Yeah, where, it's only happened maybe a handful of times where the villain is the actual like main star of the movie instead of the heroes.
Yeah.
Which I think is very much needed, especially in the MCU, because that's one of most people's complaints is the villain's always a little weak than they wanted them to. Which kind of has to be sometimes. The hero at the end of the day usually has to win, but they're kind of, even though it's not called Part 1 and Part 2 anymore, they're kind of, this storyline will be expanded across the two movies anyway. So
yeah, we know he'll be in both.
Yeah.
So you just take any of the villains they've had before and make them separate with two movies. Like, yeah, they would be way more because you have way more time to develop them.
Yeah.
But when you have a movie, one's about a hero, the whole point is,
for the hero to shine,
we're going to give most of the time to the hero to develop them.
Yeah.
Because that's the point. But the thing is, they've had so much time developing all these heroes now, and when they put them all together,
mm-hmm.
they won't have to spend near as much time,
Mm-mm.
if any, like developing them. The only thing storyline that they will with the heroes that they'll continue is the reconciliation between Stark and Cap.
Yeah.
But as far as anything else, like Thanos, and Thanos is the threat of Thanos is the thing that drives the reconciliation, so it works perfectly.
Yeah.
So we speculated that Thanos will get after the events of Thor Ragnarok, he will be able to easily get the Tesseract.
Mm-hmm.
And he will easily be able to get, and we think that he's most likely Heimdall has the Soul Stone, so he'll get it from there, killing him.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to get the Ether from the Collector because they're probably in cahoots. Either way,
yeah.
Thanos could easily take him on, and then he goes to Xandar.
Mm-hmm.
And now he has all three of those. So I think he can probably use the Space Bone just to like open a portal right there.
Yep.
Take the Power Stone. Now he's super powerful because, like we talked about before, that they add on each other. So the Power Stone makes all the other stones even more powerful.
Yeah.
And I think by this time he's going to want to come to Earth to get the last two. And like we said before, he'll have the Black Order, so he's not coming alone.
No.
So we made a whole video about that.
Mm-hmm.
Corvus Glaive we speculated he has the master plan. So I think they'll go I think it makes sense that they go for the Time Stone first. Maybe Ebony Maw's using his powers of persuasion to get it from Strange.
Yeah.
But just the fact that they're filming in Scotland makes me think like maybe it's like the London Sanctum.
Possibly, yeah.
And that they're going for the Time Stone, and obviously we've seen Vision is there. So hopefully they go for the Time Stone, and here comes Vision. We're gonna rip it out of his head.
Yeah, kind of make it easy on them to be like, all right, we can grab two birds with one stone here. So we could grab the Time Stone and defeat Vision here, and then grab the Mind Stone.
But obviously none of that. I mean, like, Vision will die early on, so I think it's more likely that the Time Stone won't be taken, but that'll be what they're trying to protect.
Yeah.
Like, they try once, but they get away, and then Doctor Strange and Thor will kind of basically lead the reconciliation between the two sides of the Avengers, led by Tony and Cap, to help basically defend the Time Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And by that time, so I think we'll see that through the story. Thanos keeps trying to do his thing, and in the third act, when it's got the final battle scene, then the Guardians finally get there. And like we joked before, obviously Drax wants to kill Thanos, and we thought it'd be very cool if he's the one who eventually kills him in Avengers 4.
Yeah.
And then Gamora obviously would want to kill him. Star-Lord just wants to be a hero.
Yeah.
And we said Groot
and
Rocket are just in it for the money, if anything, because they said we'll really be able to jack up our prices for 3-time Galaxy Savers.
Shoot, triple the price now.
Yeah. So that'll be cool, and it makes sense that they would eventually find out what happened at Xandar.
Yeah. And
come to Earth, because they know who Thanos is. I mean, no one on Earth knows who Thanos is.
No.
Maybe Doctor Strange does. I'm not sure.
And I think, like going back to your saying,
just finding out.
Yeah, and like you going back to say, like you were talking about how Doctor Strange and Thor like may lead in that like reconciliation with Tony and Cap, and like in it's the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. I think Doctor Strange is like pretty much the guy who brings them all together.
Mm-hmm.
Like with information from the Silver Surfer, which that's not going to happen. But I could see Doctor Strange. They kind of adapt that. Yeah, they adapt. Yeah, they adapt that.
Those are missing.
Yeah, they adapt that story in a way.
And he's already on the hunt.
Yeah, so they're like, all right, Doctor Strange goes and brings them together, and like not just Cap and Tony, but pretty much all of them, and any other people who might want to join the fight, Captain Marvel, and whatnot.
And she's kind of the military connection that they'll be working with.
Yeah.
Because obviously the armies of the world will be involved.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be cool to see her in there. It kind of like introduced her kind of like Black Panther was introduced in Civil War.
Yeah.
Without an origin story, but they did a great job of just adding him in.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll see like a ton of heroes, but we'll also see. What was I gonna say? Oh, and then also one of the rumors was that Scarlet Witch will be like instrumental in defeating Thanos. Because if anyone's ever knows anything about the comics, is that she's ultra powerful, and she just doesn't know what she's capable of yet, really.
Yeah, that's what
finds out she could just. Her power at its core is manipulating probability,
and that's one thing. Like a lot of people kind of tend to complain about stuff, especially with the Netflix shows. Is they're like, no, they weren't as powerful. Didn't use their powers quite like in the comics. When they're pretty much developed as a character in the comics. In the movies. Especially with Scarlet Witch in Age of Ultron, she had pretty much just got her powers. So
yeah, they didn't even be field tested. They were like, they just got out of their little tanks where she was crushing little blocks.
Yeah, not Stryker, but what's his name?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, my name escapes me right now, but he says, we don't need to send them out yet. They're not ready. That's the guy who pretty much created them in a sense. So I mean, and like the Avengers, like Cap and everybody, especially when he was when they were all at the Avengers facility, they don't even know what I guess you'd say they don't even know what she's capable of.
Oh, very true.
Maybe
and just like, for example, in the comics, she just declares at one point, "No more mutants."
Yeah,
and then
House of
all
the
story lose their powers.
Yeah,
like that's insane.
Yeah, she's probably one of the most powerful characters in Marvel, like characters in general. So.
Oh yeah, and so I could see maybe the death of Vision leading her to unlock her powers
even more. Yeah.
Because they've obviously been developing that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Teasing it so hard, it's definitely gonna happen.
And I mean, and like she's still like they still call her a kid and consider her really young. So she's probably she's probably late, like in the movies, probably late teens, maybe early 20s, in that range of like.
I would say early 20s.
Yeah, probably by now, probably like Age of Ultron, she was probably like 19 or something like that. Now she's probably like 22, 21, 22, 23, something like that. So, like in Civil War, she pretty much overpowered Vision at one point.
Yeah, which is
she's still young and still trying to figure out what she needs to do and everything, or how to use her powers. So I could see her being like very, very key into defeating Thanos. As she like you said, Vision's death makes her go even more crazy. She lost her brother, and now they've kind of flirted with that idea of them being really close and maybe possibly being lovers. So
she obviously feels a lot for him, and I think she'll realize how much she does when he's gone.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'll be gone forever, because he's an android.
No.
But for a time, and then so we think that Thanos, they'll thwart his efforts for this movie. Yeah. Probably some of his followers will die.
Yeah.
But one thing that could happen. So then we think Avengers 4 will be about him having it assembled.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where I think people. And I think you agree with me. I think that's when people would die, and we'll make a separate video about who we think main candidates to die.
Yeah.
Because it's been told that the fourth movie is like an end of what's happened so far in the beginning. And I don't know.
It's kind of like a rebirth.
I think what could be more fitting than main Avengers dying and then a new team forming?
Yeah. And that's kind of like, they've planted the seeds of that, what's going to be happening. They're starting to bring in more new characters now that are big name, and they're kind of pushing some of the older guys to the rear in a sense. Cap.
Because they can only act for so long.
Yeah. And
forever.
Especially like with Cap, that's such a grueling like regimen to have to stay on. You have to be in shape the whole time. You have to look the part. You can't be a fat Captain America and be huffing and puffing the whole movie and stuff. So I mean, it's grueling on the actors, and and they've also planted the seeds of Bucky becoming Cap. He still has like 6 movies or something on his contract.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I saw an article. It was like 6 times Marvel's basically said Cap's gonna die.
Yeah.
And it's pretty obvious.
And in every movie he's in, there's always a moment where he's holding the shield.
And he's just like, he doesn't care. He's like, I got no plans tomorrow night.
No.
Die, get up.
Yep.
Walk it off. So I think that's what's going to happen in 4, and hopefully we'll see Maybe Captain Marvel will kind of be the Warlock character, because she'll be like the most powerful hero we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll be the one that is able to take it off. But I think in the fourth one, that's when we'll see the snap of the fingers when he eliminates.
Yeah, the snap of the finger, the shrine, death shrine.
The shrine made of skulls and human bones or
that,
stone.
And also that scene where Cap stands up to Thanos, like all the heroes are falling dead or injured really bad or something.
And we might even have the scene that Tony kind of saw where all the Avengers were dead.
Yeah.
Almost all of them.
Yeah. I think that's, because they had that the day one trailer for when they were filming Infinity War, and the
background was either that, or it was Thanos' Sanctuary.
Yeah, because it looked very similar to that scene where in Age of Ultron where he's shown, like we've said before, we've said it in previous videos. It's not a vision. It was it was like it was shown to him. It was his legacy. It wasn't something that he just saw.
I wasn't tricked. I was shown.
Yeah.
It was my legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that could happen, and I think that so we don't know what Avengers 4 will be called. We've heard different things like Infinity Crusade, Infinity Imperative. I don't think it sounds as good, but I think it makes sense to involve the word infinity again.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Hunger Games, they don't call each one a different name. It's the Hunger Games this, the Hunger Games that.
Yeah.
You want to keep the term so people know what it is.
Yeah. They can also, like Infinity War is kind of like a mashup of two comic book storylines where they mash up the names in a sense, and there's a meaning behind it. There's you got the Infinity Gauntlet, and there's going to be a war over it. I don't like Infinity War, like we said. I don't think that's where all the like iconic moments happen, like the Death Shrine and the snap of the fingers and everything like that.
Avengers 4. I mean, it won't be a war. No. I mean, like it'll just like.
There's not much war when the person who has the gauntlet can do whatever they want. It's pretty much all right. Bam, bam. It's whatever I want.
Essentially, God. So one of the things we really hope for is to see the Living Tribunal.
Yeah.
In that one, because that would really fit. Because Living Tribunal is an entity above the whole multiverse, so it, and they can just snap. It can snap its fingers and turn off a gauntlet. So it was put in charge of the whole multiverse to make sure that there's never a cosmic imbalance.
Yeah.
So that could be the trumping force. But we'll see.
Yeah, and like me and you were talking about earlier today, they never, like Marvel's never just, like a line that's in passing most of the time. It usually means something. Like if
throwaway lines aren't actually throwaway.
Yeah, like if you hear something that's kind of catches your ear and it's like, hey, I've heard of that before from the comics or something. It's never usually a throwaway line like like LMD, life model decoy, Tony Stark in Avengers.
From Avengers, he says that,
and it's not a throwaway line now. I mean, people might have thought that back then, but it's not anymore.
And then Captain America Winter Soldier, Sitwell's talking about threats, and he drops the name Stephen Strange.
Yeah, that's not.
We hope that trend continues with the Living Tribunal, that wasn't just a throwaway term.
Yeah.
So all these things, they don't guarantee that you'll see something, but it's like, oh, they could totally do that. Just like they showed Adam Warlock's cocoon. Doesn't mean it's necessarily his, but they could come back to that and use that in later movies.
Yeah, most definitely.
And also, you said, like Dormammu, he's not the consumer of he's not the devourer of worlds.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's literally who Galactus is.
Yeah, that was his
they
name.
Didn't say it's Galactus, but they leave it open. So if they ever got Galactus back, it would make it cooler because, like, oh yeah, they've mentioned him before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that.
Yeah, and going back, like I'm sure there'll be a lot of deaths in Avengers 4, and yeah, like you said, we'll talk about that in another video, and as to who specifically it could be or who it would be. Like, we have some thoughts into, like, probably 99.99999% sure it's going to be. You can never say 100% sure unless somebody, like, a scoop's been leaked or something, but we have our hunches and, like, almost 100% sure that who's going to die. But
I mean, Falcon said Anthony Mackie. Falcon, he said he's not going to die in Avengers 3. Doesn't mean he's going to live in 4. If anything, it makes sense that he's not going to live in 4 because that's when Thanos will be all powerful.
And like, there might, Vision will probably die in 3, or whatever. There might be 1 or 2, but I think for the most part, in 3, a lot of people might end up being disappointed on that fact. Where, all right, there's not really any, like, Tony Stark's not going to die, Cap's not going to die.
And maybe no one does.
Yeah,
people even do, but someone, Captain Marvel, puts on the gauntlet and changes everything back the way it was.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe that'll happen. I just feel like it's about time to make a huge death count. And, like, Quicksilver was, like, I don't know, it was kind of wasted. Because like, you didn't really care about him just because you didn't have time to get to know the character.
No, he was only in that movie pretty much. He was in a post-credit scene in that movie. He wasn't even in the whole movie. So
yeah, but a death like Captain America, Iron Man, or Thor, that means a lot.
Yeah.
That it carries a lot more weight.
Yeah.
Just like if some random person dies, like, yeah, you may be sad, but if it's your, like, parent,
like, yeah, as a random person dies, that's tragic. 5 minutes later, you're just like, whatever.
Yeah,
you're not even thinking about it anymore. So
the more you know someone, the more weight the death carries. So I'd like to see that in 4.
Yeah,
Avengers 4.
I'm definitely sure that's going to happen for sure.
Yeah. And then also, I mean, I don't know if Samuel L. Jackson, this is the last thing that I can think of. I don't know if he's in 3. He may be in 4, but he did make a slip talking about the skull, which I speculate. And then, like, I mean, you guys can go watch the interview. Just type in the skull and Samuel L. Jackson, and it sounded like he did a slip up. And so I speculated based on what he said that he's trying to track down some group that is like a sect of Hydra that is like a cult, basically, that worships the skull and is trying to, like, bring him back.
Yeah.
Because somehow they know that he didn't die.
Because Hive's dead now, so they're like, all right, let's bring back the skull, the Red Skull. He's like our second, whatever. He's like a god to them, I guess. Because, that's what Red Skull said. And
just like Captain America is such a big symbol for Earth, really.
Because the Red Skull believes he's left humanity behind, so
yeah,
that could be something like that. That what he's doing, Nick Fury. Mm-hmm. But it could mean a lot of different things. It's not like that's just what a lot of people speculate is they hear Skull, Red Skull. Whoa. I mean, it could mean Ghost Rider. It could mean whatever. But
true.
With Nick Fury, though, that's like, I don't think he would be talking about Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm.
And the Red Skull would probably be the most, I guess, likely in a sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, Nick Fury's been on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so it's not unheard of.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're
Well,
right.
that's all I got.
Yeah, me too. Um, yeah, stay tuned for more stuff. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Uh, yeah, like you said, we'll talk about who's might be dying, who probably will die. I don't know, but we have a list, and
Our hit list.
yeah, we have our own little hit list and everything. And also, if you don't mind going, there'll be a link in the description to some previous videos and stuff, but also our Twitter page and our Facebook page. We're pretty active on our Facebook page, sharing stuff and then coming up with theories and everything on there. So please go like our Facebook page on there. We're a lot more active on there than we are on YouTube and everything, but we're trying to be more active on our YouTube page and everything. But other than that, we'll talk to you guys soon.
Peace.